All right, let's go ahead and get started here today. We've got a number of things to do that are sort of housekeeping things for us to do in terms of getting aware of the syllabus and the projects, because you've got a couple of things that you're working on with finding journal articles and with doing a service project. So we're going to take some time to work with that today. A number of you are discovering that the syllabus has different chapter numbers than the titles of the chapters. And what that is from is because I use the website to build the syllabus. And the text, that apparently they didn't update the website with the new text. So use the title of the chapter. So if it's standpoint theory and it's a different chapter, just go with the standpoint theory. Okay, that's what we're going to work with. So I do that. So let me take attendance, but I want to do it this way. I want to ask, when I take attendance today, I want to ask you what focus you want to do in your project. So we're going to do a service learning project as part of this course. And that means you're going to spend some time in connection with some organization. It could be a business, could be a community organization of any kind. It could be a nursery school, it could be a garden club, whatever you're involved with. Could be advocacy groups, could be a student organization.
Could it be like a sorority or fraternity?
Yeah, sorority, fraternity is fine. And what we're looking for is you to bring into that setting something about communication improvement that's based on theory. So I'm trying to get a feel for the kinds of areas that you would be interested in doing. So here's ways to think about it. Am I interested in things that are work-related, like for-profit organizations or government organizations or sports organizations or music organizations or things like that? So is it work-related? Is it personal-related? So am I more interested in communication as it affects people's ability to manage their family relationships, manage their children relationships, to deal with abuse issues in the community, like women's shelters or things like this? You know, am I interested in that kind of a setting that has more of an interpersonal dimension to it? Am I interested in support groups like AA or NA or OA or whatever kind of groups there are? So that's another possibility. And so those are at least two things, or maybe you'll have another one. Because I need to form groups. We need to form groups. And so I need to get a feel. I'm going to form these groups, but I need to get a feel for whether you want to do something with a music industry business or with a community women's abuse shelter, or whether you want to work with people who are trying to build better families, or what you're interested in working with. Okay, so let me go through this here. Christina Carson, where are you? Okay. Billy Chavo? Billy? No? All right. Anthony Sincana. So Anthony, what kind of a group do you think you'd like to work with? Music. So you have something to do with music? All right. And do you have any connections to like radio stations or radio stations? Radio station, industry. Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll keep that in mind. Is that me buzzing like that? And it is. There we go. I'm off. All right, Haley. Is Haley here? All right, Leonore? No. Kian. Okay, so what kind of context are you interested in working in with your? Okay, you go ahead and eat. Jason Hayward, there's Jason. All right, Jason, what kind of a context are you interested in?
I actually kind of have a specific thing.
Okay.
I work for Wachovia.
Yes.
They're right now working with United Way and matching gifts that you contribute.
Right.
So we want to do something with that.
So you want to do something with
Work and service.
United Way and Wachovia. Good. All right, Kian, what are you interested in?
Primarily, I guess, or entertainment or music, but I'm also interested in corporate. What he said sounds kind of interesting. So.
Okay, so music or corporate?
Either.
All right, Brian Jordan. Where's Brian?
Entertainment, music, or possibly something with fraternity.
With fraternity? Okay. Maybe frat or music. Emily Karanewski. Prudence.
I'm all over the place, so I haven't really like focused in on.
Okay, so nothing in particular.
Not yet. I mean, it could be something in the area of families and parenting, or
Okay.
relationships, or it could be communication, organization type stuff.
Okay, so I'll put a big question mark there. Kristen. All right.
I actually don't know. I'm thinking like work-related jobs.
Okay, do you, any kind of particular, see you can use this, towards thinking about your future career. This is a way you can get in the door to maybe possible future internships. So if you have a company you're interested in or something, this gives you a reason to let them see you at work. So there's value in that too. So think about, so try to think about that.
So we're actually like doing something with the company?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to ask that you can do a service learning project, and you've got a letter on the back of your syllabus that explains it. And your goal is to present something for them, maybe 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depends how long you negotiate, that would be something that would benefit their organization from a communication perspective. So a number of things you can do. All right. So Caitlin Lewis?
Yeah. I guess like sorority.
Okay. Now think, but again, don't just jump because if you're in a sorority, but think about, but if you want to do that, that's okay.
Is it to promote them?
What's that?
To promote them?
To promote the company?
Yeah.
Not necessarily as much as it could be if they're having a promotion problem. You could think about ways you could bring in communication to deal with their issues. But it could also be internal, like managerial communication. It could be it could be about teamwork, how to improve your teamwork or decision-making processes. So we'll have a lot of theories to work with. All right, Samantha.
I just like work, like business related.
Okay, you like business? So start thinking about any. Mike? Where's Mike?
Yeah. Probably like entertainment, music thing.
Okay. Entertainment, music. La Quinta? Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. But get to thinking about it. Right. Ashley?
Managerial communication.
Yeah, good. Do you have a place in mind?
I have a couple.
Okay, good. Andrea?
Public relations.
Okay.
I was actually thinking of I just finished an internship.
Okay, so
So I
you
could go with that.
internship, right?
And we're working, I'm sorry,
go ahead.
we're working on groups.
Yeah, I'm going to put some groups together for this. Giovanni?
Yeah. Would like a media outlet that focuses on politics work?
Media outlet, politics. Do you want business, or do you want like nonprofits, or?
It doesn't, I'm not sure yet.
Okay, all right. Giovanni. Laura?
I was thinking some dual lens of like maybe something corporate or small business area.
Corporate, small business, okay. Yeah, so start thinking about people you'd like to approach about this. Lisa Soltis?
PR.
PR? Do you have any connections? Do you have any?
No.
Okay. This is a good way to start. Nicole?
I want to do something with nonprofit organizations.
Okay. Community?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so start thinking about what you want to do. It could be, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. It could be programs, volunteer programs in the community. There's all kinds of things you can do. Arthur?
Entertainment or business.
Okay. Entertainment, business. Joan?
Small business promotion, PR.
Small business. PR. Okay, Letitia?
I wanted to do something with my job. I'm not sure exactly.
So what kind of work is that?
I work at PSCNG at the call center.
Okay. All right, Elisa?
Sorority.
Sorority, okay. And Ken? So Ken? All right, is there anybody I didn't call?
Lauren.
Lauren?
Carly.
All right, well, let me just, I'll put down Lauren. What's the last name?
Herlihy, Herlihy.
Okay, and what are you talking about?
I don't know, maybe PR for a small business or nonprofit.
Okay, PR, small business. Right, okay. So that'll give us a place to start with that. But do think of this in terms of advancing yourself. If you want to be seen and known by a particular group of people, this is your chance to get in front of them in a professional way and to contribute something to their organization. And at least the people I've talked to lately, that's the way a lot of organizations do their hiring. They look for people in internships and they want to get to know you a little bit first. So this is a good way to get that going for you. All right, so I mentioned to you that there's a difference between Griffin's text and Griffin's website. So work from the titles of the chapters on the syllabus. All right, now what we're going to do today is I want to quiz you a little bit verbally on the last week's stuff and then talk about this week also, just to get a grip on it. So don't get all excited about upset about these things, but let's just talk together so we can get ourselves in gear where we've been. All right, now last week we had two theories that we worked with. So let me get somebody help me think about this. Where's Samantha? Samantha. Okay, do you remember what they were, what we did last week?
The spiral of silence theory.
Okay, we did spiral of silence theory. And let's get some. Mike, what was that about? You remember what spiral of silence was about?
Basically that if someone feels like they're not in the majority of a popular opinion, then they're going to change their opinion to the more popular one.
Okay, yeah, they're going to, good point. If they feel like they're in a minority, they're not going to voice that. You know, I've been watching the news between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. I don't know how many of you watch this stuff or watch it on Google, but the news is actually highly confused. I don't know if you're picking this up, but there are some news outlets that are for sure that Hillary is way in the lead and she's the designated person, and there's other ones that are just totally the other way. So I think public opinion is a little fragmented today more than it's been before. So right, so spiral of silence deals with that. And we had another theory that we used. Brian, where's Brian? Brian, what was the other theory? Remember from last week?
I remember spiral science.
Okay, remember spiral science. The other one was talked about how groups form. Okay, it was about group process, about adaptive structuration theory, it was called. We spent a lot less time on it, you're right. So we spent a lot less time on it. And adaptive structuration theory tried to answer a particular kind of question. So, Kristen, where's Kristen? Do you remember what it was about?
Something about, like, I don't really understand. Something about, like, groups, like working in groups.
Okay, working in groups. In that we talk, adaptive structuration theory says people form the groups by the way they interact in the groups. So that when you come into a group, there are certain rules already. Listen.
Oh, no.
Your question? Okay. There are certain rules that already exist, and the way people interact with those rules reshapes the group. And we had this very important idea about producing and reproducing structure. The idea that when you go into a setting, it's not like the structure is in concrete. The structure exists because people keep doing it. And if people begin to do something differently, then the structure will change. So it's a constitutive structure idea. Now let's just think for a minute about the application of these theories. If you were going to, what's a setting in a business or a community where adaptive structuration theory would be meaningful, where people ask questions about, here's what's going on here, how did it get that way, how can we change it? Where do you run into questions like that? Who runs into questions like that? What do you think? All right, let me get.
Maybe managers of like a small business that have run into a problem and they don't know how they got there.
Yes, very nice. So managers can maybe get a new department or new division, or they encounter something, and it seems like this is the way it is. And so they have to figure out, how are we going to change this, and why is it like this? You know, because on one hand we have our rule book, on the other hand we have the way it's really going. So how did it get that way? So it could help the analysis of that setting. How about spiral of silence? Where might that be a useful theory to look at?
Where you work.
Okay, where you work, because people are afraid to voice what may be an unpopular opinion.
In the classrooms?
Okay, yeah, in the classroom. A number of you wrote about classrooms. You wrote that students in general feel a little awkward times about saying something that they feel might be out of the, you know, the way most people were going to think about something. It made me think about giving out 3x5 cards here, you know, to get answers using what's called nominal group process, to ask for answers and then shuffle them up and summarize them on the board. But that's a way you can do it. If that's anyone else about science, spiral science?
Like in a fraternity, just for example, like Rush, and you're choosing who will become a pledge.
Okay.
You think this person is really good, but no one else wants him. You're going to usually.
Okay. Yeah. So in a selection process, so that could be in fraternity Rush. It could be in a hiring process where people don't speak up, and you end up getting the same kinds of people all the time that don't give a range to the organization. So, do you have another thought?
No.
Okay. No. All right. So those were last week's. Now this week we had two other theories that we're going to work on. Caitlin, where's Caitlin?
Here.
Okay. What was one of them?
Two theories this week?
Yeah.
Was it the standpoint theory?
Yeah, standpoint theory was the one theory that we're going to do today. So what's standpoint theory about? Let's get Andrea. Where's Andrea? Music. Okay, not sure what this one's about. Let's get someone else. Ashley, what's it about?
Standpoint theory is basically looking at, especially from this point of view, where people are in society, where they are based on race, ethnicity, so like their social standard and how they view everything else around them.
Okay, so it has to do with questions of place and about race, gender, status, and we're going to spend a little bit of time on this one too. And there's another theory that we did Arthur, do you remember the other one that we did?
Muted group.
Okay, muted group theory. So, a muted group theory had a basic idea to it. Let's see, Prudence, do you remember what muted group theory's basic idea was about? This was Cheris Kramer, kind of an odd name. Yeah. Okay, muted group theory. Let's get some others. Lisa, do you remember this? Yeah, got it. All right, let's get it. Someone else. Nicole? How about Nicole? Remember?
He was talking about, we're talking about like genders and how like masculine communication, like there was, I'm trying to think of everyone.
Yeah, sorry. It's very similar to standpoint theory. That's why I put them together. So it has to do with the question of the voices, what voices are able to articulate in the society. So I'm going to go over this briefly with us now and look at some web stuff. We're going to go over the notes from Griffin. You can get these notes from Griffin.
How? I know, like, I asked you to text me, and I still had no idea.
Let's just do it, all right? Just do it. Let's see. Let's see. Let me get a Safari browser up, get a file, new window. All right, here we are, right? Let's get ourselves up here. You're going to go to a firstlook.com. This is Griffin's website, right? Have you been there yet? Yeah. Okay, here it is. You can either go to Contents or Instructor's Manual. You go to Instructor's Manual, and here is the set of theories.
Oh, that's all we had to do?
Well,
Print that out?
well, this will give you notes that you can use. You don't have to write everything out in class about a chapter.
So we have to click on the thing on each.
Right. So you go to, let's see, where are we today? See, this is where his numbers are different than ours.
435.
Yeah, we go. Where are we? Yeah, it's from he didn't update his website to the new edition.
Is this edition 5?
I think this is edition 5.
Suit me.
So, standpoint theory, right here. You click on this, and up comes the study notes on standpoint theory.
Fair enough.
So there they are. So they're there for you. So you don't have to feel like you have to write everything out while you're here in class. But I'm going to talk my way through them. What's that?
AFI, a first?
A first look. afirstlook.com. And so that'll give you your, they're your study notes. Okay, good. So, but I'm going to just go over some first to just get us set up with it. So, the question of standpoint theory, and remember, we're looking at this from a communication standpoint. So you could look at this from psychology, you could look at this from sociology. Our question is, how does a person's standpoint affect their communication? The way that they look at the world, the way they see the world. So those of you who are familiar with some of the different perspectives in communication, anyone familiar with Robert Craig's, I think we went over it the first week, 7 approaches to communication studies, the socio-psychological, the socio-cultural, the rhetorical, the phenomenological, all of those things. This is very much a phenomenological perspective, okay? The phenomenological perspective looks at communication from lived experience. So when you ask about, I'm not looking at the way people process information in their mind or the cognitive mechanisms. I'm asking, how do people really experience the world, and then how do they talk about that? That's standpoint theory. It's a phenomenological theory, and we'll talk about it. So what world do you live in? Now, what do you think about this idea, first off, that people live in different worlds, that they are perceiving the world significantly differently. Let's just stop with that for a minute. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with it? If not, why? Okay, so someone who agrees with the idea that, look into, tell me why do you agree that people are living in different worlds?
Because everybody has different problems or situations. And
okay.
If I'm not personally experiencing it, I don't know what it's like. So I would view it from a different standpoint because I'm not in your shoes.
Okay, so that's the idea that it's very difficult to really understand another person.
You can only empathize, you can't.
Okay, that it's really difficult to connect with the experience of another person. So when we say to someone, oh, I know how you feel, we want to slow down a bit because maybe we don't know how you feel or we haven't experienced the world from that perspective. So this goes against the naive notion that everyone kind of lives in the same world, everyone experiences the world the same way, and so you feel the same way I do about what happens. It slows us down to think that we have to pay close attention to other people's experiences of the world and how they need to communicate. So this is why there are a lot of dialogue projects around. Have any of you ever been involved in a dialogue process where, well, it might be online. For instance, I serve on a national committee for a group, an organization that brings people together in different places to talk about controversial issues. And we have to design structures to help people encounter the experiences of other people in a way that is non-threatening to people who may be marginalized or oppressed. So we set these up throughout different parts of the country. We meet and we go over the results, we take surveys, we do all this stuff. So standpoint theory says that it's no simple thing to think that you're living in the same world someone else is living in, which changes the way you communicate with them. So here are some places from which people see the world. Okay. Here are some different experiences of the world and of life. All right. So you have child labor, right? So these people are experiencing the world differently than I'm experiencing the world. And so their communication about the world and what they talk about and what they think is important is likely to be significantly, in the way they perceive the world, is likely to be very different from my way of perceiving the world. These are Brazilian mine workers. Okay. Now, they're living in a different world than I'm living in and than you're living in. This is a human trafficker being apprehended. Okay, and this is an ad from World Vision. I'm not a tourist attraction. Stop child sex tourism. So there are children in often in Asian countries that are experiencing the world through in a whole different way than we're experiencing the world. Okay, and we're going to look at the State Department report on this. Now Griffin used one example of people experiencing the world differently. What was the example he was working with in his chapter? He kept going. Yeah, Toni Morrison's book, Beloved, Cry the Beloved, and so he used that rigorously. He went over and over and over it again, and what was he trying to get out of that? Do you think? What was the disconnect between the worlds that people lived in the example that he was giving? Remember with at the end where she takes the lives of her children in that story, and the comment of the white male in that setting was, why would she do that, and why would you go and do something like that? which is a total lack of comprehension of the world this person lives in. So the question becomes, how do we, in a world where there are so many different places that people can be, who's really experiencing the world right? Who's really experiencing the world more clearly? Is it the child in Thailand? Is it these children in India? Is it the Brazilian mine worker? Is it the woman in Toni Morrison's book, Cry of the Beloved? Who's experiencing the world more objectively? And so this is the issue that this theory brings up. Who you are determines the way